Alright, so this is my 180SX. It's a 1989. It has a few things done to it, nothing real crazy. I'm just going to go over it a little bit here. And this is like a kind of a, I would say, a dream car of mine that I always wanted. I was looking for one for a long time for the right deal. And I have two 40SXs, but I always wanted a factory SR20 car just because it had like AC and stuff, which a lot of them don't have when they're swapped, and I didn't feel like going through the hassle of doing a swap, finding a rust-free shell. I have a shell, but just to find a good SR20, any motor nowadays is so expensive, and it's a shot in the dark because you can get a motor for $6,500 for motor and training for an SR, and it's junk. And then people don't want to return it at the JDM places and all that crap. I wasn't trying to go through all that headache when I could just get a car that already ran and know what the motor sounded like and all that. So I'll go over this thing here real quick, do a little review on it. I'll just start with the interior since I'm already looking at it. It has some gauges in there, which I wouldn't have did, but they're already in there from Japan. They put them in. It has some kind of fancy stereo. S15 seats, Takata harnesses with a harness bar. The back interior isn't in it right now. I'm probably gonna put interior back in it because this thing's more of a daily-ish kind of car for me. I have a race car, so I'm not really trying to keep this as a race car or make it a race car. It's kind of like a fun car that's still daily drivable, and that's gonna have cold AC and good heat and radio when I get that in and stuff. I'm still working on it, but it's got a Nardi wheel on it, quick release, Carretti boost gauge. I don't even know what that gauge is. I'm going to take it out. It doesn't really work. It's got a, I think it's a Blitz boost, electronic boost controller. That thing's pretty sweet. I like that. I never had a car with one of them in it. Just little odds and ends. It has digital climate control. You hit this button here and the mirrors actually fold in, which is crazy. I've never seen a 1989 car do that. Pop the hood here, but there's the back. It's got a fire extinguisher. I'll show you why in a minute. But strut tower bar, just odds and ends stuff, nothing real crazy. Auto power down driver's window, raise wheels. So here is why it has a fire extinguisher. Turbo decided to catch on fire and that little fire started. Nothing real crazy, but had to replace the engine harness on it. And that was, I think, all the heater core hoses. But I think I might have to replace the O-rings too and the HVAC, like the AC lines right there, because they got kind of hot. But other than that, I can paint the firewall and the hood there and clean that up. It's not a real big deal. But blacktop SR, it's not the original motor because this is 89 and blacktops didn't come in 89. It's a real blacktop that has the fins on the front of the head. Oil relocation kit. Has an oil cooler down here somewhere. I don't know where it is, but you can't really see it, but it's down there. I gotta go over all the fittings on that. It's like seeping oil a little bit. It's on nothing real bad, but it's got a Carretti intercooler. I got an OEM water pump coming for it and an OEM fan kit. And then I'm probably just gonna maybe put the stock electric fan back on it with the new, I'm gonna get a new mechanical clutch fan and get them lines out of the way and stuff and reroute some of the stuff a little bit. I'll probably get a different air filter too. I don't really like that whole setup right there, how they have it. All this stuff was done to the car in Japan. You can see a lot of the stuff's Japanese, but the only thing is the BC coilovers were put on it in America. It has BC coilovers. dual electric fans. Has the nicer radiator hoses and stuff, and had the nicer heater core hoses now that they're replaced. T25 300GX fuel filter, I just did that. I did new fuel hose. But other than that, in here I got a Vibrant vacuum line hose kit, and I'm gonna replace all the vacuum lines because, like you can see, this stuff's like pretty shitty done. Like, it's got clamps, and I'm just gonna do it the way I usually do it, with just small zip ties to hold them on tight. That worked for me forever on all my cars, so I'm gonna do that and replace all the vacuum lines. And I got a Walbro 255 fuel pump. I think that's it for the hood. It has a catch can, but I have a vented atmosphere right now. I got a 255 fuel pump. The battery's in the back. Probably that's about really all that's done to it, I think. I'm running like 13 pounds of boost on high. I'm probably gonna turn it up to like 14. That's all right. I ran around 15 with my old SR, and for a long time, like 7 years, and I only went through one turbo in the first year, and then after that it was good for like 7 years. So I don't know, I think it'd be good at 15 with the right oil and keeping it the right temperature, and just knowing you can't beat it consistently over and over again doing pools or get real hot, and it's not gonna take it too long. But with the oil cooler and stuff too, that should help. Other than that though, I mean, I got a set of other wheels for it with some Federal RS 595s, I think it is, sticky tires, and I'm planning on autocrossing it up at the Harrisburg Farm Show this next month, I think. I want to get it dialed in as good as I can till then. I'm going to change the oil in it. It has a Cause two-way diff in it that's super freaking noisy. Like, there's really noisy, especially with all the interior out of the back. I'm going to see if I put the Cause gear oil in it, if it quietens it down a little bit, and put maybe some of the interior back in, back seat and stuff, quiet it down. And then the radio, it shouldn't be too bad, but like, you can barely even have a conversation. It sounds like it has straight cut gears with like a dog box in it or something. It's ridiculous. But I'll probably do Redline MTL gear oil in the transmission, and I'll run Motul in the motor. I'll probably change it and do just a little bit heavier weight oil, and I'll probably put that Cause gear oil in the rear in the diff. And it's got the Trust Gretty, I guess, or whatever, Trust full exhaust the whole way up. I don't know, I think it has a turbo elbow. Yeah, it has a turbo elbow, so it's from the turbo back. Has no rust though. The tires, I don't know what tires are on it. I think they're 235s, but it sits pretty good. I'm gonna, oh, that's another thing, I want to raise the back up. You can kind of see the front is like, that's about how I want it to sit, because the roads aren't the greatest around here, and that's plenty low. The back's kind of like really low. It's like tucking a tire. I want to raise it up till the tires probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch higher in the rear, so it's about level with the front, so I can go over speed bumps okay and all that stuff. And the low beams don't work. I got to figure that out. I got everything else, all the bugs, like a lot of the stuff that was put on this car, either in Japan or in the United States, I'm not sure where it was done, but it just wasn't the greatest job, and I'm trying to work out all the bugs I can to make it the best daily driver that I can. And with that fire also, it melted the HVAC box under the dash a little bit, so the air is blowing right out the bottom of it, not even out the vents. It like melted right below the fan pretty much. So it still blows air, but it doesn't really come out where I need it to. And the heater core is clogged, so I bypassed that. So I'm gonna find a heater box and a new heater core, or a good heater core for it, slap all that in, charge the AC, figure out if it has any leaks from them O-rings and all that stuff. And I'm gonna get light tint, take that purple off the other side and keep the back dark if it is. I don't know if that's purple or not. I think the purple's coming from the other side, I'm not sure, but get the windows just 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe the rear tinted, same as my other 240 probably. I put the Type X taillights in. I had them for my black car, but it's looking all right. But I'll do some driving videos of it then. It actually has a GoPro mount on the harness bar, which is something that I ain't used to, so it might be so loud back there, I don't know how it'll sound, but I'll sit in here and watch. These seats actually are really nice. I like them a lot. They're nice seats. But I'll fire it up here. Let me find the keys. I think it's in my pocket. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna start it. Has solid motor mounts too, which I'm not like the hugest fan of them, and white face gauges. I thought about putting my gauges out of my other 240 in this one because it would be miles per hour. I think it would hook right up and it would work. If that was the case, I'd probably do it. I'm gonna look into it, but I'll fire everything up here, the lights and stuff. See, I only have high beams, and that's it. Like, whoops. I only have high beams. If I put the low beams on, I have no lights. So this is cool. You just hit a button for the mode and it goes to high boost or low boost. And then you just hit the knob, say that knob, and turn it. You can turn the boost up or down for each level. It's pretty cool. I like that. You can turn it off too. I just leave it on low. It comes on with the car. But here's how it sounds. That's how the taillights look too. I like the taillights. I wish I would have got some of them in my first 240 when they were cheap. Now they're like $1,300 taillights. I luckily got them for a pretty good deal from a buddy of mine. But here's what it sounds like. I think something's vibrating. Probably the tag. Yeah, it has 1 volt in it. But it sounds pretty good. I'll drive it a little bit here down the road maybe, or pull it around the parking lot here. It's got like 1 push windows. That's pretty cool. Oh, this is what I was talking about with the freaking mirrors. You hit a button and they go in. I've never seen a 240 do that. You hit them and they go back out. That's high tech for 89, I think, but my Skyline didn't even have that. I had a R32 GTST Type M, and that didn't even have that. And that thing was a Type M. I don't know what model this is with them kind of fancy speakers and stuff. But it's got some fancy speakers, and it's got the fancy, hear that cause in the back, that 2-way. Trying to drive this thing with one hand, but yeah, the cause is really noisy. You can't, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it in the video or not, but it's freaking wee 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 wee. It's super freaking whiny. It just sounds like straight cut gears. Anyway though, I think it has a Greddy blow-off valve too. I don't think I said that. But I'm gonna mount the GoPro at least, then I can drive it. I don't know how it'll be back there. You might not be able to hear anything. You can kind of hear the rear. I'm hoping the gear oil changes it. I bought the exact kind that said the cause gear oil, which they say is like, it makes it a lot quieter than if you just put regular gear oil in it. But the little T25 spools up nice. I'm gonna turn here quick. But yeah, the T25 spools up real good. Like, I kind of wanted to do the T28 and I was gonna do one, but this turbo I thought was bad, and here all it was is the oil line was clogged up. The oil return line said, you take someone in it and you damn near can't even have a conversation in the thing if you're on the wrong speed that it's whining. But I might just put a welded rear in it and sell this rear if it doesn't work out. I kind of wanted this one though for autocross just because it'll be better for autocross, and it has different gears in it too, so it's geared a little shorter than stock. But it runs good now. I got some stuff coming for it, just little knick-knack shit to give it a tune-up and stuff, and I think it's going to come around pretty good. I might sell the BC coilovers too and get some Tanabe Rebels, because they actually are like a touring coilover and they will ride way better than these on the road. These are decent, but these roads, I don't know if you can see, but they're not the greatest roads around here. It's beating the car up, I feel like, if it's too rough to drive a lot. I'd rather, it beats me up too, but I'd rather have something that rides a little bit smoother. Probably sell these for like 700, buy a set of them for like 1,000 or 1,100 or whatever they are. Be a lot happier in the long run with this thing. It'll still handle plenty good enough to do autocross. But I've had autocross event coming up. I gotta pick which one I'm gonna register for, and once I do that, I'll probably put the GoPro on for sure up there, so get some videos of autocross in this thing. I think it's gonna do good. My S2000 did pretty good, and I think this is gonna do even better because it's quicker and it's got torque down low better. The S2000 you had to rev to like over 6 grand all the time to keep it in the power, which is hard to do on autocross. But, and this thing I got a set of sticky tires for it. It runs pretty good though, I like it. The power's fine, I really don't need a T28 right now. I mean, eventually I might do a T28, injectors and a computer, and then call it a day, but I'm not doing anything like that right away. I don't really need it. Like I said, I have my RV car to build. Maybe down the road when that's done, I'll think about doing this or something. I don't know. I really don't need to do it, but I might eventually if I get bored down the road. I don't want to hurt the reliability of it, so I'd probably just do like 285 to 300 wheel horsepower with an S15 turbo on it, and that's probably about it. Injectors and an aftermarket ECU, and get it tuned real good, real conservative tune, so it's good to go, and all the seasons beating on it. But I don't know, it's a pretty fun car. I like it. It handles good too. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to do a short 20-minute review on this thing. I ain't taking that way. It's just been rocks all over this road. I don't know what happened today with this road, but there's rocks all over it. There never was. Something must have, dump truck or something must have been spilling rocks all over the road the whole way down Queen Street here. But alright, I'll make a video at the autocross